When Ramanujacharya was there, he installed one more deity. This is what you saw, his original body, which came out of the earth, and they're applying some kind of turmeric, camphor and all, and they're preserving. So this is Ramanujacharya's Samadhi Sthal, Srirangam. Ramanujacharya's birthplace is Sri Perumbudur. So he had one main ashram here, another ashram in Sri Perumbudur, then one in Kanchipuram, then one in Tirupati. So these were the four prominent matas for him. When Ramanujacharya was preaching, these four places were the prominent matas. What are the four places? Sri Perumbudur, Srirangam, Kanchipuram and Tirupati. Four. But he spent most of the time here. But his disciples who are living in Sri Perumbudur, this happens in ISKCON also. Our Gurudev is all the time in Srirangam. He visits Sri Perumbudur very less time only. Most of the time he visits Srirangam. The disciples had little, small, competition. You have two groups in Kuwait? Yes or no? Yeah, subtle competition is there. Some not subtle, very gross. Gigantic competition, okay. So the followers of Ramanujacharya also, they, Sri Perumbudur, because Ramanujacharya's birthplace. So they felt, even though Acharya's birthplace is Sri Perumbudur, but he spends all the time in Srirangam, And they waited, and this is like Ramanujacharya's almost like 120 years he lived. So towards the end, so Sri Perumbudur devotees were feeling so bad. So Ramanujacharya, what he did, he gave his own murti when he was alive. That is something very, very, Vaishnava acharyas have never done that. Ramanujacharya, he gave his murti and he told the devotees of Sri Perumbudur, you worship this murti. It is like you are all preaching, right? So you go to that house where you are preaching and give your photo and tell them, worship every day. How audacious it will be. So Ramanujacharya, Acharyas have never done all these things, but Ramanujacharya did that. He gave his murti to Sri Perumbudur devotees and asked them to worship. So one day they all were about to install the murti, consecration, everything. At the same time, Ramanujacharya is in Srirangam. And he was giving sessions, classes with the disciples. While giving class in Srirangam, Ramanujacharya's eyes started bleeding. Blood started coming from his eyes. So all the disciples got panicked. Gurudev, you are bleeding. So he said, the disciples are doing installation of my murti in Sri Perumbudur, parallelly. Pratishta, Prana Pratishta. Pratishta is going on, but unfortunately they don't have faith on the murti. Ramanujacharya said there is no difference between me and this murti. But they are installing in Sri Perumbudur, but they did not have faith. So Ramanujacharya was bleeding, eyes were bleeding. So that murti is very special. There is no difference between that murti in Sri Perumbudur and Ramanujacharya over here. So they say in Tamil, the murti which we saw in the morning, Ramanujacharya's body, is Tan Uganda Tirumeni, and Sri Perumbudur is Tanana Tirumeni. Means the body came out of Ramanujacharya, that is here in Srirangam. The body which is no difference from Ramanujacharya is in Sri Perumbudur. You got that? Yeah. So now we are in two temples. This is Anbil-Sundararaja Perumal. The Lord is very handsome here, Sundararaja Perumal. And the next temple we are going is Appakudathan. Appam, Appam. Lord who likes Appam. And he is lying down, and there is one big pot is there, full of Appam. His hand is inside that only. Appakudathan, he loves Appam. So these two temples are connected with Vaishnava aparadha, offense, which is very important for all of us. So in this temple, there was a great sage called Sutapa in Satya Yuga, Sutapa. When Sutapa was doing penance, meditation, sage Durvasa was passing by, and Sutapa did not realize that Durvasa is passing by, And you all know Durvasa. It's very tough to please him, Sometimes in your family also you may have Durvasa. Very difficult to please them. So Durvasa became very angry and cursed, Sutapa to become frog. In Malayalam also, Mandukam. Manduka. Manduka means frog. Such a great sage, Sutapa. He was closing his eyes and meditating on Paramatma. He was in trance. And this sage, Durvasa, passed by and cursed him to become a frog. How many times you have been punished for those mistakes which you have not done? Have ever people blamed you for the mistakes which you have not done? Has it happened? Yeah. But Sutapa did not react. Imagine we were there in that place. We would have cursed Durvasa, you become Manduka, your father will become Manduka, your grandfather will become Manduka. So immediately Sutapa thought very deeply, and in this holy place I am meditating on Narayana, and why did Durvasa curse me? I did not do anything wrong. There must be some great reason. Either it is because of my Purva Janma karma, or Lord has some plan here. So he was deeply continuing meditation. Imagine you are sitting and chanting Hare Krishna, Japa in the morning, somebody comes and gives one slap. What will happen? How we will react? This must be some definitely, will of providence, great plan by the Lord. What is that? So Sutapa went into trance. Then one Leela manifested in front of him. What is that Leela? One day there was an argument between Lord Shiva and Brahma. Brahma has how many heads? 4 heads. Brahma bole Chatur mukhe Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Mahadeva Panchamukhe Rama Rama Hare Hare. So Brahma has got how many heads? 4. And Lord Shiva has got 5. Panchamukha. And one day they had some kind of a quarrel, Now you should not ask why these great personalities had quarrel. Opinion difference is always there. Even in Goloka there is opinion difference. There are 2 parrots who are 2 main assistants of Vrinda Devi. Shuka and Sari. Sari and Shuka. They always have argument in Goloka Vrindavan. One parrot will say, okay, let us arrange Lord Radharani and Krishna's pastime in this particular garden, because there are jackfruits, and the jackfruit doesn't have skin, and the jackfruit doesn't have seed. Have you seen any jackfruit like that? No skin and no seed and just honey dripping. The other parrot will say, that's all, let's not go to that garden. We will go to different Nikunja. So they'll always have argument. Opinion difference is okay, but we should not carry that in the heart and turn into a vengeance or ego or something like that. So who was having argument? Shiva and Brahmaji, Lord Shiva and Brahmaji, and they had an argument. And by, mistake, whatever it is, Brahmaji pushed Lord Shiva. And what happened? One head came in his hand only. Sorry, the other way around. Lord Shiva pushed Brahma, and got one hand in his, that turned into his Kapala. So anyway, Sage Sutapa had this Leela coming, manifesting in front, and both of them prayed in this place and got relieved from that Vaishnava aparadha. Who both? Lord Shiva and Brahma. So Sutapa realized this place will relieve all the Vaishnava aparadha. And he meditated deeply and he realized the Sundararaja Perumal Bhagavan is under the soil, under earth. And the Lord manifested for Sage Sutapa. So, sometimes we are also blamed for the mistakes which we have not done. Sometimes we are pointed fingers. Sometimes we may have to go through difficult situation. We might not have done anything wrong. But there is a greater purpose behind this. Lord is preparing us. So, in front of great Sutapa, Lord Sundararaj Perumal manifested. So this place is a place where if at all knowingly or unknowingly we have committed some sin against Vaishnavas, devotees, this is the place where we pray and get relieved of the sin. Have we done any Vaishnava aparadha in life? No? So the next temple which we are going is Appakudathan, Appam, Lord who likes Appam so much. So there was a great king. What's this? Periyalvar, some name, some very traditional name, the king. So one day he went for a hunting. By mistake, he killed an elephant, by mistake. So here also, sage Durvasa by mistake cursed Sutapa Rishi. There also, the great king by mistake killed an elephant. And that turned into a great offense against him. So he was doing penance and people told that you should feed thousands and thousands of Vaishnavas every day. In Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they have a nice system. If you hurt somebody, mildly, sometimes during conversation, loose talk, we may hurt people. Anything has happened like that in your life? Loose talk, we don't know where to put and stop. We will speak something, blah, 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 loose talk, loose, out of control. We say something and sometimes people get hurt. Has that happened? No? Many times. So in Sri Vaishnava system, if you have done something mild like that, they recommend the devotees should fast for a meal. They skip a meal. Okay, I had some conversation and by mistake I hurted him, so I'll skip my lunch, something like that. Luckily in ISKCON we don't have, otherwise we will never get lunch. So even so the elephant was not a Vaishnava, but still it was considered to be a great sin, and the king was supposed to feed so many people. And every day he was feeding people, And during that course, he developed a little ego. I am feeding thousands of people every day, Anything small we do, we built up sometimes ego, like for 3 days you attend Mangalarti. I am the chosen devotee, I am very special, I am floating in the sky, I attended 3 days Mangalarti. Sing one kirtan nicely, deliver one lecture nicely, do something good, ego immediately, pops up. So this king was feeding thousands of people and he had this tiny ego, I am doing so much of service. So one day Krishna came as a boy, small baby boy, and said, "Oh king, you are feeding so many people, I am also hungry, feed me." And the king did not realize this is Supreme Lord. So he started feeding, and whatever he cooks and feeds, everything disappears. This tiny boy is eating. Sometimes you will be shocked, some chotta fella eating 10 chapatis, 10 idli, something goes like that. So the small baby boy is eating, the king is feeding and the boy is eating, the king is feeding. Finally the king said, "Who are you?" So Lord said, you have not relieved your sin. You have to keep feeding me, but I don't want all these things. I want special appam, that sweet malpoha kind of stuff. So every day evening, I don't know, we are going now. If you are lucky, you may get that. So Lord is so this thing. He loves that appam, and they keep feeding again and again and again. So these two temples are connected with Vaishnava aparadha. Knowingly, unknowingly, we might have hurted people, we might have criticized, we might have passed comments on them, all sorts of things. So these two temples are interrelated where we can get relieved of all these mistakes. So Ramanujacharya and all his disciples also visited here. And the next temple which we are going, Appakudathan, that is the Samadhi Sthal of Periyalvar, one among the 12 Alvars. Periyalvar, his Samadhi Sthal, and his daughter only is Andal. Today morning you saw Andal in the glass room. Andal? Yeah, her father, Periyalvar. His Samadhi Sthal is also the same temple which we are going next. So, Periyalvar was doing only one seva every day. What is that seva? He will make nice garland and offer to Ranganaji. That is only one seva. But he will go deep into the details. He had his own garden. He will water the plants. He will pluck the flowers. He will meditate and he will make garland. One seva only. But he was completely into it. And as his daughter grew up, she said, I will also help you, my dear father. So Periyalvar said, okay. So Andal was plucking flowers. Andal was making garlands. But what she will do, she will first check, put around her neck and check whether everything is okay. The size is okay, the height is okay, everything like that. And Periyalvar, it's a great Vaishnava, it's great, seva aparadha. We can never do that. You cannot taste what you cook, you cannot check all those things because we are doing for Supreme Lord. But Andal was in a different mood. She will wear the garland, check everything, size, everything is okay, like that. And Ranganath was becoming so happy. His face was glowing more, brighter, and devotees were feeling experience because Ranganath is so happy that she is wearing the garland. And one day Periyalvar found when he walked inside the house, she is standing with that long, they have a ulta garland, our garland is that round shape, right? We drop it. Their garland is like inverted U. Not like ours, they're like inverted U, their garland. They put it like that and hanging on both sides. Different style. Periyalvar walked inside and Andal is standing in front of the mirror with that beautiful garland. Periyalvar became so upset. What a sinner you are. I didn't know, I didn't realize. And you have been doing this every day. She did not hide. She humbly submitted. Yes, I am doing this every day. What a great sin I have done. Taking this, what you have worn and offering to Ranganathji. How many janmas I have to take birth now to get out of this sin. From this day, you are never my daughter. Don't come in front of me. Don't talk to me. Don't even enter the flower garden. And she was so badly hurted, she started fasting. And Periyalvar was super strict. He didn't allow his daughter to enter the garden. He will water the plants, he will pluck the flowers, he will make the garland. But what happened? Ranganath's glow started decreasing. And Periyalvar is thinking it is all because of the sin of my daughter. My daughter had sinned, right? But it is the other way around. He is not getting the garland from Andal, right? Then this was going on, and villagers were feeling bad and telling Periyalvar, please don't get angry with your daughter. She is a small girl. And she was just 13, 14-year-old at that time. You should forgive her. But Periyalvar was very upset. Then Ranganathji came in the dream of Periyalvar and said, tomorrow you bring your daughter. Decorate her like a bride and bring her. Lord appeared in the dream of everyone in the temple. The king, the pujaris, everybody, the musicians' dream, Lord came and said, bring all the best instruments and be at this position. In the king's dream, Lord appeared and said, arrange everything, all the feast, everything, decoration of the temple. In everyone's dream, Lord appeared and said, do this, do that. And they did not know. And next day they all came to the temple. The temple was decorated, feast, flowers, musicians, chanting glories and all. And Periyalvar is bringing Andal, dressed like a bride. Andal walked and just walked inside the deity. So that Periyalvar Samadhi's place is also the same which we are going now. Okay. So these are the two temples where we can get out of all the Vaishnava aparadha and everything. So in the next temple, Prabhuji can speak some glories of Ramanujacharya or related to that. Okay. So that's it. Should we go now? Or there is a small market here in the back. Half an hour, 15-20 minutes, we can do some small Nagar Sankirtan and go. What do you prefer? Should we go to the next temple or do a small Nagar Sankirtan in the backside market and go? What do you prefer? Up to you, your choice. Nagar Sankirtan. Okay. We will do a small 10-15 minutes like that on the backside and go back. Okay. Hare Krishna. From Sripad Ramanujacharya ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.